Good day, everybody. Thank you for joining me on the channel. In today's content, we will be studying Stronghold. The ticker is SHX, and over the last few weeks, we've been monitoring this correction coming back down to a key level of support. I believe this week is providing crunch time for the project. Are we going to see relief, or is there more downside to come? Nothing that I say is financial advice. Let's dive into the content. So looking at SHX here on the weekly time frame, I have this sort of ascending support level since August of 2024, where you can see that we've been building these sort of higher lows over a long sort of period of time. And we also have this ascending level of resistance, which is where we're placing these new higher highs after coming off of these higher lows on support. So at the moment, the macro structure, I think I keep going over this in many videos, but we do have these highs, these higher lows into a higher high, into a higher low, into a higher high. So at the moment, this retracement is simply trying to find where a local low is, in my opinion, before pushing to a new higher high. We're gradually sort of climbing up the stairs here, and this is very healthy. Now, the only thing is in this process is when SHX does top out or put in a new local high, the corrections do tend to be quite steep, and it does sort of retrace quite heavily and quite quick. And it might seem quite gruesome, you know, having this, I think since June, where we had this retest on the 20 EMA here, this yellow line. This led to a 300% move. So it's no surprise that we're actually having quite a sharp cool off. When you actually start taking off vertically, you could come down just as fast, and this is what SHX has done, and it has done that in the past. Now, looking at the current price structure, okay, as I said, we got those higher highs and those higher lows. Let's take a look at the 20 EMA at the moment and its placement, okay? So from this previous high back here in February 2024, we had the A wave, which took us back down to the 20-week EMA before creating a lower high B and then getting the C wave back to support. At this point, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive, which led us to our local high of January 2025. We then had another A, B, C correction back down to a key level of support. And now what this looks like, it's either a 1, 2, 3, this is a 4, and then we're about to get a 5, or what we could actually have here is we've had the what we could actually have is we've had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and already a 5 wave move completed at this high, which is why we're seeing a bit more of a steeper correction. Now, if this is a potential wave 4 and we're still missing that wave 5, wave 4 has to come back and hold above the previous high. Okay, so if we do come back any further, we have to hold above the June 2025 highs, which ranges between 0.014 to sort of 0.013. And then that way we could have a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, and then if we come back quite deep here, as long as we stay above June 2025, we could still be in for a wave 5. Now, again, as I was saying, the alternative here is we've already had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and an extensive 5th wave, which is what's brought us up to this target. And if that is the case, just like in the past, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that 5 wave move completed, we had a macro A, B, C. So I do believe that what could happen here for SHX is we find support somewhere between this previous high of January 2025, which in the last updates I was saying this is the sort of zone we want to hold between 2 cents and 0.019. We're there this week, and this is why I think it's crunch time. We either hold support on this local high, or at a minimum we come down to the weekly 20 EMA, this yellow line, which currently sits at 0.017. Okay, now I would expect a strong level of relief around this area over the next couple of weeks, where we potentially come back, get a week or two's relief, and then this will be the decider, okay, whether we actually continue for a wave 5 or whether we've topped out here. This was the wave 5 complete, and what this is now is an A followed by a B leading into a larger C correction, which would bring us back down to these June 2025 highs and to ascending support before then getting a macro wave. Okay, so as I said, if we have topped out on previous moves, we do tend to see large A, B, C corrections. You've got an A to the 20-week EMA, lower high B, C. You had an A to the 20-week EMA, lower high in a B wave, and then a C. Right now, we could have an A to the 20-week EMA, place a lower high, and then get a C, okay, which would look quite scary. But again, as long as SHX is holding above this key level of support since August of 2024 and is creating these higher lows, I wouldn't be concerned. I really wouldn't be concerned. Now, looking at the stock RSI, we are sort of rolling over here, and what tends tends to happen is when SHX does place a local low, if you look here, for instance, let me get my demonstration back on. If SHX does place a local low, you can see that in the stock RSI and the price, this is where we are in oversold levels before actually starting to get the relief bounce and bringing the stock RSI back to overbought. Fast forward to sort of April, March 2025. This is where we found a local low before then starting this impulsive wave. Okay, so what I would like to see over the next couple of weeks is this stock RSI completely reset heading in towards the end of October, which would provide us opportunities just like in the past. Okay, now with this reset, as I was saying, I think it's either what we see is a potential hold on the 20 EMA for some relief and then maybe a rollover back to the June 2025 highs. And this could completely reset it coming into the end of September. So at the moment, for me, what it is, I think we're going to see some relief in the short term over the next week or two, especially if we do get the retracement to the 20-week EMA. This is a key level of support alongside the previous January 2025 high. So there are two confluence points here. You've got the 2025 high of January, and you've also got the 20 EMA that are acting as support on this retracement, or I expect will act as support on this retracement. So I do think that we are going to put in a week or two of impulsive moves, but it's very important to sort of, I think, take out 0.025 and then obviously this local high if we are looking for that fourth wave correction before a 5-wave move up to sort of 5 cents. So at the moment, it's literally crunch time. We either hold this level of support and the 20 EMA and go for a leg up, okay, or what happens is we come down here, get a lower B wave high, and then potentially retrace to this ascending support line and back down to these June 2025 highs, which I think would be max opportunity. And if we look at correction sizes, again, this doesn't have to happen, guys. We're still on the cusp of potentially holding the 20 and this January 2025 high. I just want to keep us all in the loop with what could happen in this situation, looking at previous data. So if we look at the sort of high here in January 2025, this was a correction of around sort of 69%. The prior correction in the larger ABC from February 2024 all the way down to August 2024 was 84%. And now the current correction that we are actually witnessing so far is an average of about 46%. So in my last video, I was also saying this. You can see that although the corrections are sharp, over time, as we're squeezing between ascending resistance and support, the correction depths are getting shallower. So we've had 84%, 69%, 46%. It wouldn't surprise me if we do get see a strong level of support somewhere around this 46 to 50% corrective area to the 20 EMA. And then again, if we do get a steeper correction, you're looking at something like a 64%. But as I said, they are getting shallower over time. So there is still a potential that this correction could end in the next couple of weeks and place that fifth wave up to 5 cents. So my overall outlook here, guys, is it's crunch time. It's an important time for SHX to, one, potentially hold this 20 EMA, and two, look to hold this previous high of January 2025. And I think that's the sort of best coverage I can give for now until something else changes. You know, for the last few weeks, we've been monitoring this correction. We was looking at a 40% minimum. We've secured that. And this is why I believe now is an important time for SHX in order to make up its next mind for the decision on what could come in the near future. Now, if we do get a deeper retracement back down to these June 2024 highs, as I said, if we have some sort of A, B, C correction, just like we did in all prior local tops, okay, where we've had a large sort of A, B, C correction back down to a key level of support. If we do get that retracement and the A, B, C, what we could see is a potential retracement again to those June 2025 highs, but you also have the 55 EMA on the weekly. Now, if you look at the 55, this red line on prior corrections, the 55 has been the area where a double bottom is normally built up. Okay, if you retest the 55, okay, fall below it, this is generally where we tend to build double bottom structures. Okay, when we actually get a full-on retrace back to the 55 EMA, you build this higher low, breakout. Okay, so if we do come back in this ABC to the 55, potentially we could build this double bottom higher low structure and then get the massive breakout towards sort of 5 cents. Now, again, fear wouldn't feel like opportunity, but if it did retest this sort of June 2025 high in late September and this 55 EMA, potentially what you're looking at, if you do get in the next sort of wave up to around 5 cents, you'd be looking at another sort of 3x move. And again, that would then sort of coincide with the fact we've got these higher high, higher low structures over a multi-year period. If we can, come back for a major level of support in this correction and then push onto a higher high, we're just creating beautiful macro structure. So I have no concerns. I think this call off period is needed after this extensive leg up. Come back for a key level of support, hold the 20 or this January 2025 high, look for a move up. If we get the breakout of this local high, then obviously we're pushing up to 5 cents in that wave 5 that I was talking about. Failing that, this is where the A, B lower high could create a larger C wave before actually then going for the break. So I hope you enjoyed the content, guys. Keep your eyes on SHX, keep your eyes on the 20-week EMA and also the 0.02/19 area. It would be healthy to see candle closes above these previous February highs. If we start seeing candle closes below, I think that confirms that we're more likely to test the 20 EMA. If we lose that, then you're looking at the June 2025 highs and the 55 EMA on the weekly. As long as you are above these two EMAs, the 20 and the 55, we are in an uptrend with higher highs, higher low structure. Take care, guys. All the best from ChartNerd TA. Peace out.